speaker is Jim Dane, who will be evaluated by John Crane.
Okay. Today Jim will be reading from the Interpretive Reading Manual. Speech number 2, Interpreting Poetry. Objective: to understand the differences between poetry and prose. To recognize how poets use imagery, rhythm, meter, cadence, and rhyme to convey the meaning and emotions of their poetry. To apply vocal techniques that will aid in the effectiveness of the reading. Timer 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7, thank you.
As an engineer, Jim has unique qualifications to read poetry with a special understanding of its nuances and finer points. Today, he will be reading the words to a song and talking about its poetic content. Jim Dane, the title of his speech is Singing Poetry. Is Singing Poetry. Jim Dane.
Fellow Toastmasters, as an engineer, I can tell you that there are very few engineers that like poetry. Something about words. We work with numbers, not letters. My wife, for example, we'll be driving down the road and she'll go, "Isn't that a great song?" It's tuned off in the background. I could hum it, but I couldn't tell you what it's saying. She's listening to the words, and it's the word content that motivates her. To me, it's the musical content that I hear. I don't even hear the words. But there's a few songs over the years that have caught my attention. And when this project came up, I thought, poetry. How am I going to do poetry? I will do a song as if it's poetry. So I'm going to read you the words to this song that I learned to like. Now, the song's about a very disreputable dude in Chicago. I mean, this guy is bad news for everybody. He's not liked at all. And in the end, he learns a lesson about being the baddest guy in town, that there's always somebody badder. So, let me read you the song, and I'm sure that all of you here will recognize it eventually. Well, the south side of Chicago is the baddest part of town. And if you know there, if you go down there, you better beware of a man named Leroy Brown. Now Leroy, more than trouble. You see, he stands about 6'4". All of the town ladies call him the treetop lover. And all the men just call him Sir. And it's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Now Leroy, he a gambler, and he likes his fancy clothes, and he likes to wave his diamond rings in front of everybody's nose. He got a custom Continental and an Eldorado too. He got a 32 in his pocket just for fun. He got a razor in his shoe. And it's bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, Friday, about a week ago, Leroy shooting dice, and at the edge of the bar sat a girl named Doris. And oh, that girl looked so nice. Well, he cast his eyes on her, and the trouble soon began. And Leroy Brown learned a lesson about messing with the wife of a jealous man. It's bad Leroy Brown the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Well, the two men took to fighting, and when they pulled them from the floor, Leroy looked like a jigsaw puzzle with a couple pieces missing. It was bad Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than an old King Kong, and meaner than a junkyard dog. Now this song was written by Jim Croce, and in 1973, when it came out, it was 3 weeks, #1 on the pop chart. Dolly Parton has sung it, only dude wasn't from Chicago, it was from Nashville. Frank Sinatra sung it towards the end of his career, and he made it all the way to 89th on the pop charts. The point is, songs are lyrical, and they're really, it's a lyrical form of poetry, more like prose, where it's rhyming more. But if you take the rhyme out of it and read it as poetry like it is, it can be very interesting. Rap songs today are really poetry put in a rhyming fashion. I don't care a lot for rap, but I have lately started listening to the words, because it's the beat drives me nuts. But if you listen to the words, some of the rap singers, when you can actually understand what they're saying, have a nice message that they're conveying. It can be a very upbeat message in the words. So, Jim Croce wrote one other song that I want to read to you, just a few of the words to it in closing, as another example of a similar message that he got. The song goes, you don't tug on Superman's cape.
Oh, yeah.
You don't spit in the wind. You don't pull on the mask of the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess with Jim.
Jim.